Okay, Caesar 1.7.3. When the Helvetians were informed, we're going to talk about this in a sec, were informed about his arrival, and there should be a D there, adventu, that's an ablative there, and this his refers back to the previous sentence. This is a representative from Caesar. Okay? He's come to talk to the Helvetians because they're proposing to go across Provence. So when they were informed. Now, the way this works is, if you really translated this literally, it would be super weird. When the Helvetians were made more certain. Okay, I see how that comes out, but we have to translate it idiomatically. When they were informed. And this is perfect, passive, indicative. All right, when they were informed, they send representatives to him, to Caesar. And this is an appositive here. One of the simplest grammatical constructs. This equals this, right? It's one noun replacing another. It's explaining who the representatives are. The noblest of the state. And of this mission or embassy, delegation perhaps, yeah, that's a delegation for legatio. Of this delegation, Nemeus and Verucloetius held the leadership position. Okay, so we've got a genitive. Remember, this is the really irregular genitive of qui, quae, quod. Qui, quae, quod, cuius, cuius, cuius. And it is referring back to the whole concept of the legatos, which becomes a legatio. These representatives become an embassy, a delegation. So these two guys held the top position. And here's how it goes. They send envoys to. So let me just kind of sketch this out for you. Mittunt. All right, that's that part there. Up there, mittunt. Mittunt. Legatos. Simple, right? They send representatives qui dicerent. All right, that's the core of the sentence right there, right? The chunk. They send representatives to say. And this, it could just as well have been ut. In order to say, because you can see this is the imperfect passive subjunctive. Yeah, subjunctive. And that's because this phrase here is a relative purpose clause. So just like a purpose clause, it's got ut. This is a relative purpose clause. It's got qui instead. And the antecedent of qui is legatos. So all of that chunk is buried up here. All right, the kernel, as it were. To say that it was their intention. So literally this means it was in their mind. And that's a dative of possession there. Possessing the mind there. It was in their mind. It was their intention. Without any malfeasance, you can see male and facio, bad doing, without any malfeasance, to make their march through Provence, right? That's Provincia Nostra, the south of France, because they had no other root. Okay, that's a perfectly good explanation, isn't it? Now this indirect statement goes on, and that's why here we've got a present active infinitive. Infinitive has too many I's, I think. And to ask that it be permitted for them to do this with his will, with his permission. Okay, so infinitive, that's a complementary infinitive coming from this little impersonal verb, it be permitted. There's your reflexive there, be permitted to them to do this. This is the do of that, right? To do this. And then a little ablative in there, by his will, with his blessing, as it were. All right, lot going on in here. Another imperfect subjunctive here. Yeah, so it all begins with this, they send envoys or representatives, and then you get this indirect statement here. But these envoys, they have more to say than just one thing, so that they state their intention in there. It was their intention. And then the intention is to make a journey. So this is a complementary infinitive here. But then they go on to say, they explain they have no other root. So that's all in this indirect, giant indirect statement, indirect purpose clause. And to ask that it be permitted. So a lot going on here. But basically what's being reported is what these representatives are saying.